Instead of franchising your business, should you create an education and training business where you help other people enter your industry? We have many conversations with successful business owners, usually in service-based industries and education-based industries, and they come to us and say, really don't want to franchise my business. I may not be ready for that, but I have people from all over the country or in my area that approach me every day, ask if I could help train them or help them enter the business that I'm in. So you may be a successful business owner, your operations are running well, but it may be a solo person operation, or you may have a limited team, and you find yourself answering calls from people in other states or other areas, asking how you've done it, how you built up your brand, and even ask for you to train them so they could open up their own business. Question becomes, do you franchise that business, or could you do something else? Could you create an education-based business where you provide those individuals with training and education, and they pay you a fee? And the answer is yes. So how do we balance out the franchising versus education-based business? Well, let's just go over some basics. Under federal and state law, what is and isn't a franchise is very broadly defined. Franchise relationship is created when you license your trademark, you receive an upfront fee, and your agreement creates some type of control over how that individual uses your trademark and uses your training. So franchise agreements could be oral, they could be in writing. They're very powerful, right? What we do is we help businesses franchise throughout the country. And the benefits, well, you have unit level economics. Your franchisees use your brand, expand your brand recognition, and open up throughout a region or throughout the country. And long term, they provide you with ongoing revenues in terms of royalties. So that's really good. But for some people, they may not yet be ready for franchising. And there's reasons why. One, your capital may be limited. Two is it may not fit with your life goals. You may not want to be contractually obligated to support franchisees over a 5 or 10-year contract. Or it just may be something that's going to come up or is right for you down the line. So is there an interim step? And the answer is, I think there is, if you're very careful. If you plan this out and you work with experienced franchise counsel or experienced counsel that understands business opportunities and commercial law. So one option is to create a whole education-based platform, whether it's webinars, one-on-one training. So you provide these training services, virtual or in person, you charge an upfront training fee, and you create a viable business. Now, the next question that comes into play is sometimes, Charles, I have plenty of people who are asking me to do this training, and I provide it. They pay me a fee, but now they're also asking me, can they use my trademark? And that's where it gets difficult. The answer is no, but there could be some exceptions in a very limited way. The reason why you don't want these people, we'll call them your students or people that are paying for training, to use your trademark is because once they use your trademark, you're giving them a license. It takes you a step closer to be qualifying as a franchise. And then to protect your trademark, you're going to have certain rules and requirements as to how they operate. And that creates the control element of a franchise. So you don't want to go there. Now, can you, as part of your education business, create an accreditation process or certification process that sort of has your branding on it or has your logo on it? Yeah, that's possible. So for example, if you create your education business, you have your education hub, and then you produce a list of vendors who went through your training process, that's a potential positive step, because now you may be directing business to these individuals throughout the country, and you're creating your website as a central point for quality services. The next step would come up is, can these trainees, see, I almost called them franchisee, which we don't want to do, and we don't want to go there. Can these trainees then use your logo? Well, not in the name of their business, and they can't market and promote, but can they acknowledge that they've been trained by you and you have some type of training accreditation? The answer is yes. But before you do any of this, you need to work with experienced counsel, put together a program. your education agreement, your training agreement. If you're going to allow them to mention that they're certified or trained by you and use your logo, well, then there needs to be an agreement that limits what they can and can't do with that logo, specifically states that they can't use it in the name of their business. They can't use it to promote their business. They can only use it to acknowledge accreditation. There's more involved, but the key here, well, first, before you do anything, right, this isn't legal advice in the sense that you really need to speak to a lawyer before taking the step. But what I want you to know is franchising may not be right for you, but it doesn't mean you can't monetize your skill and your ability. Now, the downside is you're going to be creating your future competitors, and they're going to be going out, creating their own brands and growing. So you lose the economies of scale that you would have created with a franchise. But if you're not yet ready for franchising and you want to monetize your skill set, your training ability, create an education-based business, create a training business, be very careful on how you use the trademarks, and speak to your lawyer about putting together a program. Best of all, you could grow, right? Create a great dynamic website, list your location, list accredited locations that have completed your training. Naturally, when you're listing and identifying them, you're not going to list them with your name or your trademark. They're all going to have completely different names. Examples that come up often, and something you should be evaluating with your lawyer when you discuss this, I think Zumba and CrossFit. Though you'll see many independent business owners promote Zumba and they'll promote CrossFit, even though I believe, I haven't looked at it recently, they're not franchise systems. So key takeaway here, franchising is powerful. I'm a big advocate of it. But if you're not yet ready for it, speak to your lawyer about creating an education-based program, monetize your skills, and you'll be helping others.